Laura Bennett stared out the window of her ship, feeling uneasy as the stars rushed by. Space was vast, silent, and cold, and each new mission came with its own fears. Yet, something about this mission felt different. They were going to explore an outpost of the Zarquan creatures everyone feared. No one had ever fought them and survived long enough to tell the tale clearly. Still, it was Laura's job to find out why the Zarquan suddenly left their outpost. Laura took a deep breath and turned to her crew. She trusted them completely. There was John Carter, a skilled pilot known for his quick thinking. Next to him stood Olivia Brooks, a young scientist whose sharp mind was always curious. Finally, there was Ryan Smith, the team security officer. Who could handle danger better than anyone else? "Captain, we're getting close," John reported calmly, breaking the silence. "Should we prepare to land?" "Yes, John," Laura nodded firmly. "Let's land carefully." "Olivia, Ryan, keep your eyes open for any unusual activity." As their ship landed, the view of the Zarquan outpost made everyone tense. The buildings were large, dark, and shaped strangely. The surfaces were covered in scratches and scorch marks, hinting at violence that might have happened. The crew stepped onto the surface slowly. The ground felt strange under their feet, dusty and dry. It was quiet, too quiet. "This place gives me the chills," Ryan muttered softly, holding his weapon tighter. "Stay sharp," Laura warned, her eyes scanning their surroundings. "We don't know what we'll find here." As they moved forward, the silence pressed heavier upon them. Each step echoed quietly, raising hairs on the back of Laura's neck. Olivia's scanner beeped softly, making everyone jump slightly. "Sorry, Olivia," whispered nervously. "I'm picking up strange signals from that building." "Let's check it out," Laura said, pushing away her fear. They moved cautiously toward a large structure with broken doors. Inside, they found a scene of chaos. Equipment was destroyed, walls were damaged, and strange, dry fluid covered the floor. "Something bad happened here," John whispered, looking disturbed. "Olivia, can you find out what that fluid is?" Laura asked, pointing at the dark stains. Olivia quickly took samples, hands slightly shaking. "It looks like .ZA Requiem blood," she finally said, eyes wide with shock. Whatever attacked here was strong enough to hurt them badly. Suddenly, a distant noise broke the silence, a scraping, harsh sound. Ryan immediately moved forward, his weapon aimed ahead. The sound grew louder and closer, echoing eerily. "Get behind me," Ryan shouted sharply. Before anyone could react, a figure appeared in the doorway. Tall, muscular, and terrifying, a Zarquan stood before them. Its skin was dark and rough, its eyes glowing with anger, yet it stumbled, wounded and weak. "Hold! Your fire!" Laura ordered, feeling her heart beat fast. The Zarquan stared at them, growling softly, but its strength was fading. "Help me!" It rasped suddenly in rough human words, shocking everyone. Laura hesitated only briefly. "Olivia, quickly," she ordered. "See if you can help it." Olivia rushed forward cautiously, pulling medical equipment from her pack. The Zarquan sank slowly to the ground, watching them warily but making no move to attack. "What happened here?" Laura asked carefully, kneeling down close enough to be heard clearly. "Attack ... by ... something new." The Zarquan struggled to speak, gasping for breath. "Not ... like you ... worse." Laura exchanged worried glances with her crew. What could possibly be worse than the Zarquan, known throughout the galaxy as the most dangerous predators? "Can you tell us anything more?" Laura asked urgently, feeling her pulse quicken. "Too ... late," the creature murmured weakly, eyes closing. Slowly, "They are ... coming back." Before Laura could ask another question, Olivia looked up in panic. "Captain, multiple signals approaching fast. Everyone, back to the ship!" "Now!" Laura shouted, springing to her feet. They rushed toward their ship as shadows moved quickly in the distance, growing closer every second. John's fingers moved fast on the controls, preparing for takeoff. Laura turned at the last second to see a horde of terrifying shapes emerging into the open fast. Vicious creatures unlike anything she'd ever seen. Their eyes glowed fiercely, their teeth sharp and dangerous. Go! Go! Laura commanded urgently. The ship rose quickly, narrowly escaping the wave of deadly attackers. Laura stared downward, heart pounding, realizing they had barely survived. What they had seen was terrifying, but it was only the beginning. They needed to warn everyone. Humanity had stumbled onto something deadly, something worse than the Zarquan. And whatever these creatures were, they were coming. Back at the human colony on planet Aurora, Laura and her team were welcomed with anxious eyes and urgent questions. Admiral Eric Harper, a seasoned leader with strong features and a calm presence, awaited their report. Laura took a deep breath, preparing herself to share what they had seen. Admiral, Laura began, her voice steady but heavy with seriousness. The Zarquan outpost was attacked, but it wasn't us. It was something worse, something new and terrifying. Admiral Harper looked concerned. Describe what you saw, Captain Bennett. Laura described the creatures vividly. They moved fast, almost like shadows. Their eyes glowed, and they were clearly intelligent and vicious. They easily defeated the Zarquan. Harper nodded slowly. If even the Zarquan couldn't withstand them, we must prepare quickly. I'll form a special team immediately. Captain, I want you involved. Laura felt honored and worried simultaneously. This new threat was unlike anything they had faced. They needed more than bravery. They needed smart tactics and careful preparation. Soon, a special force was created. Soldiers and scientists gathered, training day and night. Among them were Lieutenant Clara Hill and Sergeant Jake Grant, two of the bravest and most dedicated soldiers Laura had ever met. Clara was sharp-minded and thoughtful, while Jake had courage and strength. Laura trusted them both implicitly. Our first priority is to find out everything we can about these new predators, Laura explained during a meeting. We must understand their weaknesses to stand a chance. The colony prepared defenses, improving weapons and strategies based on Laura's descriptions. Each night, everyone worked late into the darkness, pushing themselves to the limits. One evening, as the sky turned a soft purple with the setting sun, Olivia Brooks approached Laura, holding a tablet. Captain, I think I've discovered something, Olivia said urgently, excitement mixed with worry in her eyes. Laura quickly took the tablet. What is it, Olivia? These new creatures. I've studied the samples we brought back. They have incredibly advanced senses, much more sensitive than ours or even the Zarquans, Olivia explained rapidly. That's their strength, but maybe also their weakness. Laura studied the data closely, seeing hope for the first time. We can use their senses against them. Brilliant work, Olivia. Laura brought this discovery to Admiral Harper immediately. He listened closely, nodding with understanding. Good work. We'll create special equipment to exploit this. Clara, Jake, get your teams ready. Days passed rapidly, filled with intense preparation. When the creatures finally attacked Aurora, humans were ready, or so they thought. The creatures came swiftly in the darkness, barely visible as they moved through the colony. Activate the devices now. Laura shouted. Special equipment sent out powerful waves of sound and bright flashes of light. The creatures stopped suddenly, disoriented and weakened. It gave Clara and Jake's teams the chance they needed. Fire! Clara commanded firmly, leading her soldiers. Their weapons blazed, striking down the creatures that had terrified even the mighty Zarquan. But the predators quickly adapted, recovering faster than expected. Laura watched in horror as the creatures pushed forward, overcoming their temporary confusion. Retreat! Back to defensive positions! Jake shouted, pulling back strategically. The soldiers fought bravely, protecting one another. But the attackers pressed relentlessly. Laura realized quickly that they underestimated the enemy. She thought swiftly, her mind racing. Jake, Clara, pull your teams to the inner defenses. We need to regroup and hit them again. Laura's quick thinking saved many lives. Soldiers retreated, regrouping behind stronger barricades. This bought precious time, allowing them to adjust their strategies. They're smarter than we thought, Clara admitted, breathing hard but still focused. Then we have to be smarter, Laura responded firmly. Olivia, recalibrate the devices. We need stronger frequencies, quicker flashes. Olivia nodded, working rapidly, her fingers flying across her equipment. In minutes, the devices were ready again, stronger than before. When the predators attacked once more, Laura ordered another activation. This time, the creatures shrieked loudly, clearly in pain and confusion. Now, push forward, Jake shouted, seizing the opportunity. Soldiers surged ahead, weapons blazing, reclaiming ground swiftly. Laura watched closely, relieved and hopeful. As the creatures finally retreated into shadows, the attack ended and Aurora was safe again, at least for the moment. The survivors cheered cautiously, but Laura knew the fight was far from over. We won this battle, Admiral Harper told her solemnly afterward, but there will be more. We need to keep improving, Laura nodded. We'll do whatever it takes. She looked up at the stars, knowing their enemy was still out there, watching and waiting. They would return, stronger and more dangerous than before. But humanity was ready to face them, determined to protect their home. After the battle on Aurora, Laura Bennett and her team knew they had little time to rest. Admiral Eric Harper called for an urgent meeting. The atmosphere in the room was tense, filled with determination but also worry. Everyone knew the creatures would return stronger and more prepared. We must strike first, Admiral Harper said firmly. We need to take the fight to them. Laura felt uneasy. Do we know where they come from? We can't attack without knowing their base. Olivia Brooks stepped forward, her tablet glowing softly. We tracked their escape path. They returned to a nearby planet Thalos. It's remote, harsh, and rarely explored. Then that's where we'll go, Harper stated confidently. Captain Bennett, Lieutenant Clara Hill, and Sergeant Jake Grant, you'll lead the mission. Laura nodded firmly. We'll be ready, Admiral. Preparations began immediately. Laura, Clara, and Jake spent long hours planning and training. Every soldier knew the mission's risk, yet none backed down. They understood that defeating these creatures meant securing humanity's survival. The day arrived quickly. Soldiers loaded on the ship silently, their faces showing both bravery and nervousness. Laura stood beside Clara and Jake, feeling a deep trust in them. Stay alert, Laura advised quietly as their ship left Aurora. We can't underestimate them again. The journey to Thalos was quiet and tense. Laura used the time to study maps and review plans. Olivia continued her research, discovering more weaknesses the team might exploit. When they finally arrived, the sight of Thalos was intimidating. The planet was dark, rocky, and covered in thick forests. It seemed the perfect hiding place for dangerous creatures. The ships landed cautiously on a clearing. The soldiers moved silently into the woods, eyes constantly scanning their surroundings. Laura felt her pulse quicken as shadows shifted around them, making every rustle and snap of branches alarming. Soon, they discovered tracks and marks from the creatures. Olivia examined them closely, nodding to herself. They're close, moving. Fasten impacts, she whispered. Laura signaled for caution, leading the team deeper into the darkening forest. As night fell, their surroundings became even more dangerous. Shadows danced eerily around them. Suddenly, a soldier named Kyle stumbled and shouted in alarm. Within moments, dark shapes leaped from the trees, their eyes glowing with hunger and aggression. Form up! Defend each other! Laura commanded loudly. The soldiers swiftly gathered into tight groups, weapons firing steadily. The creatures were fast and intelligent, attacking from every angle. Jake moved decisively, protecting his comrades and pushing back the attackers. Use the lights! Laura shouted. recalling Olivia's advice. Bright beams flashed through the darkness, blinding and confusing the predators temporarily. Seeing their chance, Clara directed her team forward with sharp commands. They fought with courage, using every strategy they had learned. Still, the creatures adapted swiftly, their movements becoming more cunning. Fall back! Regroup near the ships! Laura ordered urgently as the battle intensified. Laura fought fiercely, protecting soldiers as they retreated carefully. Suddenly she heard a desperate cry. Turning quickly, she saw Kyle surrounded by creatures, struggling valiantly. "Hold on!" Laura shouted, sprinting toward him with Jake close behind. They fought bravely, pushing the creatures away long enough to pull Kyle to safety. But more creatures arrived, relentless and hungry. "Captain, we must move now!" Clara shouted firmly, direct and covering fire. Laura knew she was right. Helping Kyle to his feet, she led the soldiers rapidly back toward the ships. The creatures followed closely, growling angrily and snapping at their heels. Just as they reached the clearing, Jake activated a powerful defensive barrier. A wave of energy surged outward, pushing the creatures back with a painful shriek. It gave the team just enough time to board their ship safely. Breathing heavily, Laura watched through the viewport as the predators regrouped below. They seemed to glare at the departing ships, their glowing eyes promising revenge. Returning to Aurora, the team was somber. They had survived but had not defeated the enemy as planned. Still, Laura felt pride in their courage and teamwork. Admiral Harper greeted them solemnly. "Your bravery has given us crucial insights. Rest now. We'll analyze your reports and plan our next move carefully." Laura nodded gratefully, feeling exhausted yet determined. They had faced danger and survived once more. But the threat remained, stronger than ever. Laura knew their fight wasn't over, it had just begun. Back on Aurora, Admiral Eric Harper and Captain Laura Bennett spent long hours reviewing the recent battle. They carefully studied every detail, trying to understand their enemy better. The new creatures had shown frightening adaptability, turning each human strategy against itself. "We need more information," Laura said tiredly, leaning back in her chair. "If we don't figure out their pattern soon, they'll overwhelm us." Admiral Harper agreed. "You're right. We must find their weakness quickly." Olivia Brooks mentioned their senses being incredibly strong. "Maybe that's still our best approach." Laura called Olivia to join them. The young scientist arrived quickly, carrying her tablet filled with data. She looked tired but determined. "Captain, Admiral, I found something interesting," Olivia announced quietly. "Go ahead, Olivia," Harper encouraged her gently. Olivia took a deep breath. "These creatures rely heavily on communication through sounds we can't easily hear. They coordinate attacks with high-frequency signals. If we disrupt these, we might confuse their tactics completely." Laura felt a spark of hope. "How soon can we develop something to test this idea?" "We can start immediately," Olivia replied with determination. "The technology isn't complicated. I can have prototypes ready within days." Admiral Harper stood decisively. "Do it, Olivia. Laura, gather your team. We'll need to test this quickly." Laura quickly assembled Clara Hill, Jake Grant, and a group of experienced soldiers. She briefed them thoroughly, emphasizing the importance of Olivia's discovery. The team trained tirelessly, testing the new devices in controlled conditions. Each day showed improvements, giving everyone more confidence. Laura noticed the soldiers regaining their determination and courage. After several days, Olivia announced the devices were ready. "We need a safe yet realistic test," she suggested. "Then we head to the abandoned station near Aurora," Admiral Harper decided. "It's isolated enough to minimize risks." Laura's team moved swiftly, loading equipment onto the ships and setting off for the station. The journey was short but filled with tension. Everyone understood the importance of this test. Upon arriving, they quickly set up their devices and defensive positions. Laura organized her soldiers carefully, ensuring each knew their role clearly. The station was eerie, filled with silence, and the distant hum of machinery. Night came quickly. Laura stood watchfully, feeling her heartbeat quicken as sensors picked up movement. "They're here," she warned quietly. The creatures approached silently, their movements swift and coordinated. Laura held her breath as they drew closer, then signaled Olivia. "Activate the devices now," Laura whispered firmly. Olivia activated the equipment immediately. An invisible wave swept out, interfering with the creature's communication signals. The effect was instant. The predators hesitated, visibly confused and agitated. "Now!" Laura commanded, leading her soldiers forward. The humans attacked with precision and confidence. The creatures struggled to respond effectively, their usual tactics breaking down. Jake fought with determination, protecting his comrades, while Clara directed her team with clear, strong commands. The creatures retreated, clearly disoriented. The humans advanced carefully, steadily pushing them back. It was a crucial moment, proving Olivia's strategy could work. Laura ordered a halt as the creatures withdrew completely. She felt a rush of relief and pride. "It worked," she breathed. Quietly, smiling at Olivia. Returning to Aurora, the team was greeted with excitement and hope. Admiral Harper praised their success warmly. "You've given us a powerful tool," he said gratefully. "But we must be careful. These creatures will adapt." Again, Laura agreed. "We need to stay ahead, keep improving our methods." Days passed rapidly as the colony worked hard, preparing for future attacks. Laura knew their enemy was intelligent and would learn from every defeat. One evening, Clara approached Laura quietly. "Captain, everyone believes in this fight because of you. You've kept us strong." Laura smiled gently. "We stay strong together, Clara. Each one of us makes the difference." Their peace was short-lived. Soon, alerts flashed urgently across Aurora. Sensors had detected a massive force of creatures approaching rapidly. Admiral Harper called Laura. "Urgently, they're attacking in numbers we've never seen. We need your team ready immediately." Laura felt her heart race but nodded decisively. "We're prepared. We'll face them together." Laura gathered her team swiftly, watching as the creatures appeared on the horizon like a dark wave. She knew the battle ahead would test their strength and unity like never before. But Laura felt no fear, only determination. "Stay close," she told her soldiers calmly, standing tall beside Clara and Jake. "Today, we fight not just for Aurora, but for humanity itself." As the enemy surged forward, Laura steadied herself, ready to face whatever came. She believed in her team, knowing they were humanity's best hope. Together, they would survive and push the darkness back once more. The massive attack began swiftly. From every direction, dark waves of the predators surged toward Aurora, determined and relentless. Laura Bennett and her team stood firm, knowing the colony's survival depended on them. "Remember your training," Laura called clearly to her soldiers. "Stay calm, keep together, and trust each other." As the creatures closed in, Laura ordered Olivia Brooks to activate their defensive equipment again. Powerful signals disrupted the enemy momentarily, giving the human forces an essential advantage. Clara Hill directed her soldiers efficiently, striking precisely as the creatures hesitated. "Aim carefully. Make every shot count," she shouted. Jake Grant moved swiftly, reinforcing weak points in their defense line. His courage boosted the team's morale, inspiring them to fight harder. Despite the chaos around them, Laura felt proud to see their unity and bravery, yet the predators adapted quickly, changing their tactics. They started attacking from multiple sides, overwhelming small groups of soldiers. Pulled together, formed defensive clusters. Laura commanded urgently, understanding the danger. The soldiers quickly regrouped, firing together, covering each other's blind spots. Olivia's equipment helped, but the creatures were learning fast. Gradually breaking through their defenses, Laura quickly realized the battle was turning against them. She urgently signaled Admiral Harper. "We need support, Admiral. They're breaking through! Hold the line, Harper responded calmly but firmly. Reinforcements are coming. Just a little longer. Laura's pulse quickened, understanding that every second counted. Clara led her group bravely, refusing to give ground. Jake protected his comrades fiercely, pushing himself to his limits. Suddenly, the enemy shifted strategy again. A large group charged directly at Laura's position, aiming to separate her from her team. Captain, watch out! Jake yelled, seeing the danger first. Laura reacted instantly, firing her weapon precisely, but the attackers were many. They swiftly closed in around her, cutting her off. Laura! Clara shouted, moving swiftly to help. Jake and several soldiers fought desperately to reach her. Surrounded, Laura fought hard, pushing back against the creatures as they snapped and lunged at her. She felt fear grip her heart, but pushed it away, focusing on survival. Hold on, Captain, Jake shouted, fighting fiercely toward her. Clara reached her first, pushing back the predators aggressively. Together, they fought back to back, protecting each other in the chaos. Suddenly, a powerful wave of reinforcements from Admiral Harper arrived, pouring firepower into the attacking creatures. The enemy began to falter, retreating slightly under. The intense assault. Laura felt relief sweep through her. Thank you, Admiral, she breathed, grateful. Push them back. Now is our chance. Clara shouted clearly. Encouraged, the soldiers surged forward, taking advantage of the confusion among the predators. They fought tirelessly, reclaiming lost ground and forcing the enemy to retreat. As the battle ended, the creatures fled into the distance, disappearing quickly. Laura looked around, breathing heavily but relieved. Everyone, report! She called firmly, ensuring her soldiers were safe. Most soldiers responded quickly, though a few were injured. Laura felt a deep sadness, but also pride in her team's bravery and resilience. Returning to Aurora's main base, Admiral Harper welcomed them solemnly. We won today, thanks to your courage. But they will return stronger. We must keep improving our strategies. Laura nodded quietly, agreeing completely. We'll be ready, Admiral. Days later, Olivia brought critical new information. Captain, Admiral, we've traced their main movements. They return frequently to a central location, Zara Prime. Admiral Harper looked intrigued. Their homeworld? It seems so, Olivia. Confirm seriously. If we strike there, we might stop them permanently. Harper nodded thoughtfully. It will be dangerous. But we have no choice. We'll prepare for an attack on Zara Prime. Laura, Clara, and Jake immediately began intense preparations. They knew attacking the Predator's home planet would be their toughest battle yet, but also their best chance at ending the threat permanently. The colony rallied together, building stronger ships, advanced weapons, and improving strategies. Continuously, each soldier trained tirelessly, determined to be ready. The day of departure arrived quickly. Laura stood proudly with her team, ready to face their greatest challenge. Whatever happens, Laura spoke clearly, remember our unity and courage have brought us this far. Together, we can win. As they boarded their ships, Aurora watched silently, filled with hope and anxiety. Everyone knew the mission's importance. Humanity's future depended on their success. Laura took a deep breath, looking ahead as the ships rose into the stars. She felt nervous yet determined. They were heading to Zara Prime, directly into the heart of danger, ready to confront and defeat the Predators once and for all. The fleet approached Zara Prime cautiously, its dark, intimidating shape filling their view. Captain Laura Bennett watched silently from her ship's bridge, feeling the heavy weight of responsibility. Beside her stood Clara Hill and Jake Grant, both quiet but determined. Everyone knew this mission could decide humanity's future. Admiral Eric Harper's calm voice echoed clearly over the communication channel. Prepare for landing. Remember, we must strike quickly and precisely. Laura signaled her team to prepare. Soldiers checked their weapons, and pilots adjusted flight paths carefully. Olivia Brooks had developed special devices to confuse the Predator's communication. Everyone hoped these devices would provide a crucial advantage. The ships landed softly on Zara Prime's rocky surface, hidden among dark cliffs and caves. Laura led her soldiers out carefully, scanning the area with keen eyes. The planet felt hostile and dangerous, filled with an unsettling silence. "Stay alert," Laura advised quietly. "They know we're here." They moved quickly, guided by Olivia's device readings. Soon, the soldiers spotted a massive structure built into the mountainside, clearly central to the Predator's organization. "That's our target," Laura announced decisively. "We move quickly, strike fast, and then withdraw." As they approached, a sudden screech shattered the silence. Dark shapes emerged swiftly, racing toward the humans from all directions. "Activate the devices now," Laura ordered firmly. Instantly, Olivia's devices emitted powerful signals, temporarily stunning the attackers. Human soldiers seized the opportunity, striking swiftly and pushing forward. Jake fought fiercely, protecting his fellow soldiers as creatures lunged at them aggressively. Clara moved expertly, directing attacks effectively, keeping their line. Strong Laura guided the team into the Predator's massive structure, moving rapidly but carefully. Inside, the structure was eerie, filled with strange noises and dim lights. "We must disable their communication core," Laura explained urgently. "Olivia, lead us." Olivia moved quickly, following her device's readings. "This way," she said firmly, guiding the soldiers through narrow passages and dark corridors. Suddenly, another wave of creatures surged from hidden corners, attacking viciously. Laura reacted instantly, organizing a tight defense. "Stay together. Focus fire," Laura shouted clearly. The soldiers formed tight defensive groups, firing precisely and maintaining order. Still, the Predators were relentless, attacking from unexpected angles. "Hold the line," Jake yelled bravely, rallying the soldiers. Laura pushed forward aggressively, helping clear the path ahead. Finally, they reached a central chamber. A massive, glowing device filled the room, clearly the Predator's communication core. "Set the charges," Laura commanded quickly, covering the soldiers as they placed explosive devices around the core dot as they worked rapidly. A sudden, chilling roar echoed through the structure. A giant predator emerged into the chamber, clearly more powerful and intelligent than the others. "Captain, watch out," Clara shouted urgently. The massive creature charged directly at Laura, eyes glowing fiercely. She dodged swiftly, narrowly avoiding its deadly claws. "Cover Laura," Jake ordered sharply, firing at the creature relentlessly. The soldiers fought fiercely, but the powerful predator was swift and strong, forcing them back. Laura understood this creature was their greatest threat yet. "Jake, Clara, distract it," Laura called, preparing a risky plan. Clara and Jake bravely confronted the creature, drawing its attention skillfully. Laura moved swiftly behind it, carefully aiming her weapon at a vulnerable spot Olivia had identified. "Now," Laura shouted, firing precisely. The creature roared painfully, staggering and weakening visibly. Jake seized the moment, attacking powerfully, and finally bringing it down. "Quickly, we have little time," Laura urged, returning attention to the explosives. "Charge is set, Captain," a soldier confirmed urgently. "Good, let's get out of here," Laura commanded, leading the retreat rapidly. Soldiers ran quickly, fighting off smaller attacks as they escaped. The structure began shaking violently as the explosives detonated behind them, destroying the core. Outside, they raced back to their ships, breathing heavily and exhausted. Laura glanced back, seeing the structure crumble and collapse into dust and flames. "Mission accomplished," Laura announced quietly, relieved but still cautious. "Let's return quickly." The ships rose from Zara Prime swiftly, leaving the Predator's home planet in chaos. The journey back to Aurora was quiet, filled with relief yet deep sadness for those who had fallen. Arriving safely, Admiral Harper greeted them warmly. "You've done humanity a great service," he said with pride and gratitude. Laura felt grateful but humble. "We fought together. Everyone contributed equally." "Rest now," Harper advised gently. "We've taken a huge step, but the fight isn't over." Yet, Laura nodded slowly, feeling deeply proud of her team's courage and unity. They had faced their greatest threat and won, but the journey was not complete. Still, for now, humanity could breathe easier, knowing they had taken the battle directly to the predators and emerged victorious. Following the decisive victory on Zara Prime, humanity began to rebuild and heal. Aurora and the other colonies were still cautious, knowing the threat wasn't entirely gone. Captain Laura Bennett and her brave team took time to recover, grateful for the peace they had earned. But soon, reports arrived that surviving predators were gathering at distant locations, regrouping for one final desperate assault. Admiral Eric Harper called Laura, Clara Hill, Jake Grant, and Olivia Brooks to a critical meeting. "We cannot let them regain strength," Harper said firmly. "We must finish this completely." Laura felt a heavy weight on her shoulders. She knew they must end the threat entirely, or humanity would always be at risk. Olivia stepped forward, her eyes determined. "We've learned much about them. If we attack now, while they're weak, we have the best chance of ending this for good." "Agreed," Laura said decisively. "We'll finish this together." Preparations were swift and thorough. Laura's team trained even harder, perfecting their tactics and strategy. Soldiers were motivated by the hope that this would be their last battle against the predators. The fleet left Aurora, heading toward the distant planet where the creatures had gathered. The journey was tense, filled with thoughts of the battle ahead. Laura spent time with each team member, encouraging them personally. "We've come so far," Laura reminded them firmly. "Trust in each other, and we will win." Upon arrival, the human fleet moved quickly into position. The planet was barren and harsh, covered in rocky terrain and deep caves where the predators were hiding. Laura led the landing party, moving carefully but swiftly across the rocky landscape. Olivia's devices were ready, stronger and more effective than ever. As they moved forward, the predators suddenly appeared, charging aggressively from hidden caves. Laura acted quickly, ordering Olivia to activate their strongest disruption signals. Yet, immediately, the predators faltered, their movements uncoordinated. Laura's soldiers took advantage, attacking swiftly and decisively. "Advance carefully," Clara commanded, keeping the soldiers focused and disciplined. Jake led bravely from the front, fighting with remarkable courage. His presence inspired others to push forward despite intense resistance. Yet, as always, the creatures adapted quickly. They regrouped, charging again with renewed aggression. Laura reacted instantly, adjusting tactics to counter their new strategy. "Stay alert. Keep tight formations," Laura ordered sharply. The battle intensified, with both sides fighting desperately. Soldiers fought bravely, many becoming injured but refusing to give up. Suddenly, the predators unleashed a final massive wave of attacks. Laura's team held their ground, firing with determination, but the creatures pressed relentlessly. In a critical moment, Laura saw Jake isolated, fighting off multiple attackers. Without hesitation, she raced forward, firing precisely to support him. "Captain, it's too dangerous," Jake warned urgently. "We're in this together," Laura replied firmly. Fighting fiercely by his side, Clara and her soldiers pushed aggressively, joining Laura and Jake. Their combined strength forced the predators back slowly. Olivia adjusted her equipment quickly, sending out another powerful disruption wave. This critical move broke the predators' coordination entirely. Seizing the opportunity, Laura ordered a final charge. Soldiers surged forward, striking swiftly and decisively. The predators, overwhelmed and leaderless, finally broke and fled. Laura stood quietly, breathing heavily, watching the enemy retreat. They had finally defeated the predators completely. Back on Aurora, celebrations erupted joyfully. Admiral Harper praised the soldiers warmly. Humanity owes its future to your bravery, he told them proudly. Laura felt deep pride in her team, grateful for each member's courage and determination. Clara, Jake, Olivia, and all the soldiers have fought heroically, united by trust and purpose. Later, the colony held a memorial for fallen heroes, honoring their sacrifice. Laura spoke softly, filled with emotion. We will never forget them. Their bravery allowed humanity to survive. Afterward, Laura stood quietly with Jake, Clara, and Olivia, looking toward the stars. We did it, Jake said softly, his voice calm, but deeply moved. Laura nodded slowly. Yes, together, we did. It's strange, Olivia murmured thoughtfully. We faced the galaxy's worst nightmare, and won. What's next? Laura smiled gently. Now, we rebuild. We honor our fallen. And we live. In peace, always remembering our strength and unity. The four stood silently, reflecting on their journey. They had faced the darkest threats and emerged victorious. Humanity was safe, stronger, and wiser because of them. Laura looked again toward the distant stars, feeling hope and pride. Had proven humans were not only survivors but protectors. From now on, humanity will be known as the new apex predators, courageous, intelligent, and united.